Today, we are going to start discussing nonfiction text structures. This is just a very short overview because knowing the way that a nonfiction text is organized will help you figure out what the main topic is of that passage, which is what we are working on. So, there are 5 different ways that nonfiction or informational text can be organized. And we're going to look at each of these in more detail. The first one is a description text structure. If an author chooses to use a description text structure, a topic is described in lots of details. It includes a lot of adjectives or describing words. And by the time you finished reading it, you should be able to create a picture of that topic in your head. So, an example here is that ice cream is a frozen, sugary, sweet delicacy. The treat comes in flavors like vanilla. We're not going to worry too much about the visuals when it comes to text structures right now, but realize that you would use a web in order to show what you learned. Some other examples of a description text structure might be describing animals. You might hear about their size, their body coverings, what they look like is a common way that a description text structure is used in informational text. The next way that an author can organize nonfiction text is called order and sequence, or sometimes just sequence. When they do this, they tell the events in order or the steps to follow to do or make something. So, sticking with our ice cream, it says, want delicious ice cream? First, scoop it into a bowl, then top it with goodies like sprinkles. Finally, grab a spoon and enjoy. This is showing the steps of how to get your ice cream ready. A biography, which is the story of a real person's life, is a great example of order and sequence. Usually they talk about the person's life in order. The directions to build something or a recipe would be other great examples of an order and sequence. And a lot of times the life cycle of an animal or something in history is being described, those would also be using an order and sequence text structure. The next one is called problem and solution. If you're listening or reading a problem and solution text structure or passage, it's going to tell about a problem and sometimes says why there is the problem, and then it gives one or more possible solutions. So if we look at this example, it says, if your ice cream melts before you finish it, put it back into the freezer. The problem in this case is your ice cream melting, and a solution would be putting it back in the freezer. Other examples that you might have could be endangered animals and how people are doing things to help them. They might be talking about deforestation or the cutting down of habitats and what is being done to prevent that from happening. So again, all of these could be examples of a problem and solution text structure. The next one is a compare and contrast text structure. When you have a compare and contrast text structure in nonfiction, it tells how two or more things are alike or similar and how they are different. So look at this example from ice cream. Although both ice cream and veggies are food, ice cream is less healthy and eaten as dessert. Veggies, however, are a side dish to a meal. Other examples you might have of a compare and contrast text structure could be comparing and contrasting two people or different types of animals. They might talk about how baby animals are different from adult animals. They might be comparing and contrasting two different types of video games or two different types or brands of TVs. All of these would be examples of compare and contrast text structures. Again, they're looking for ways that things are similar and also they're different. You're very familiar with the double bubble chart that can be used to show the information from a compare and contrast text structure. The last structure is a cause and effect text structure. A cause is why something has happened, and an effect is what has actually happened. Sometimes the effect is listed first. So, coming back to our ice cream example, if melted ice cream gets on your hand, your skin will be sticky. The cause is the melted ice cream, and the effect is that your skin can get sticky. Another cause and effect you could think of is something like the Titanic sinking. The cause was that it hit an iceberg, and then there were lots of different effects, one of which was that sinking. But there were holes in the side of the ship, there were people that had to leave the ship on lifeboats and things like that. So again, there's 5 different text structures: a description, which describes something; order and sequence, which tells the steps or the way that things happen in order; problem solution, where there's a problem and then the ways that they are trying to solve that problem; compare and contrast, when there are ways that things are similar and different; and a cause and effect, where it talks about why something happened and then what happened as a result of it. Now go into Seesaw to complete the text structure activity.